Hey guys, Ash, Scott here from DTFF, the Volunteer Firefighter Podcast. Just going to do a quick walk around of our new fire engine. I know we posted a couple photos of it online, but we're actually going to do a bit of a walk around. So we are looking at our brand new Spartan Gladiator chassis built by Hub Fire out of Abbotsford, British Columbia. We've got our custom cab that's new to us. We're generally a commercial cab department, so first time running the custom cab. Just going to do a quick walk through the front jump seat and driver's seat area. Pretty normal for what you would tend to find. Our video man is tripping over stuff. If you come around to the back, we opted with the two front-facing, two rearward-facing seats, giving us lots of space for our radios, for our glove butlers, for our thermal camera mount, right in the center, and still tons of extra space available. If you flip around there, you're going to see we do have our double married irons mounted right in the back. So when you jump off, you're ready to work with those two frontward-facing seats yet again. As we hop out, we've got full pass-through cabinet right behind us here. On the other side, we've got our one water, one dry chem. This side's yet to be filled. We did stick with the mid-mount pump like the rest of our apparatus. So pretty standard. We went everything mechanical valve over electric. Mechanical doesn't fail. Easy to rebuild. Again, that's what we're running on our other trucks. So keeping with a little bit of tradition there. Again, keeping some of our New York bars mounted right on the back. Easy access. And again, full pass-through cabinet for tools. Right now, we don't have a ton in there. A lot of our forestry stuff's going to get tossed in there for the summertime. We're in the middle of November right now, so not a heck of a lot need for grass fire and stuff like that. Something new for us, we usually on our other two engines had dual 1.5-inch Minutemen load pre-connected hose lay, one off each side. This one we ended up going with 2.5 inches, one on each, as well as 2.5 pre-connected Minutemen lay. So we are ready for all of the blitz attacks coming off of each side, 2.5 and 1.5 inch. And we went with a couple different nozzle configurations, Scott.
Yeah, so we got the combination nozzle, and then we got a smooth bore. Actually, that tip, we're going to roll into a little bit longer of a tip. This is more of a short range one that we currently have on there.
Yeah, and then the other kind of major factor that we have on this side is our Zico drop-down ladder rack. So hydraulic electric drop-down ladder rack. We went with the dual 14-foot as well as the 24-foot extension. So the two roof ladders on there. We're used to having a larger ladder on both of our other engines, but most of our BC box style housing that we have around here, the 24-foot is definitely going to get us to basically every second story window of our residential structures here. So that makes it a lot easier to throw. We've also got our attic ladder in there, two pike poles, and all of our hard suction comes off of that as well. If you stand by 1 second here, it's going to make a ton of noise, and Scott's going to drop that down for us so you can see all of our hard suction
coming down,
mounting on the backside.
Oh, there's ladder anymore. It's wrapped coming down, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything's coming down.
So pretty fast deployment. Gives easy access to everything that we have coming off the side there. There we are. So that's a quick look at the officer side of our brand new engine. On our next video, we're going to have a look over at the rear of the engine.
Hey guys, Scott and Nash here with the DTFF Volunteer Firefighter Podcast, carrying on with our new engine. This is the tail end, and this is basically the kind of the purpose-built for firefighting part. Everything else is kind of, I don't want to say generic or standard, but it's, we got the pump obviously on a fire truck, and we got the hoses and ladders and all that stuff. But now this back here, we took a little bit more time in the design of it, and it was based on some of the feedback we got from our members and some of the feedback we had doing this job for quite some time. First thing you can see where Ash has his hand actually is something that we saw on one of the trucks that came by, and it's from it's a California hook, some sort. I don't know what they actually call it. I think some people call it the shepherd's hook, but it's designed for wildland firefighting. So we can do that racking of the hose right on top of it with the forestry hose, and then it can hang here for when we're ready for our quick deployments, for our bump and runs, and then it folds back in. We have one on each side for the same option, so we can hang a few different hoses off the side when we're going to those quick deployments, and they fold back in. The other thing is we moved our SCBA cylinders. Normally they're on the side of our other engines, and then we realized wherever we always change our cylinders in the back space of our truck. So why not have our cylinders back here rather than off the side? Because we used to take them off the side, bring them back here, and then change out. And then one thing we talked about as well, if you're going to have to change your stuff, you might as well have a tailboard that pulls out like a workbench. So we made the tailboard pull out a little bit more, so we can actually put our SCBA on here while we change out our cylinders, or when we're using our electric or battery operated tools. So that just slides back in, and there's a couple pins that put it into place. We have our battery operated tools down here. Down low, we're still working on some configurations of that. We have an inverter inside the truck that'll charge those. This is also our Modus hydrant bag. So again, we're working on some configurations for that, so we can grab a little quicker on the hydrant bag. I think one of our very unique to us is the ladder. So as I'm talking, if Ash wants to take it down. So as we talked about before, not only this ladder, it allows access to the hose bed, but it also is detachable. So we just pull those pins. Once the pins are pulled, quick pop out, and now we have a VIS ladder or any type of ladder for any type of ground floor window. So one thing we found was we always had all the ladders are too tall. It was either we had the 24-foot extension ladder, the 36-foot extension ladder, the roof ladder, or an attic ladder. They're all quite tall. This one, nice and portable, and it snaps back on, and it has dual purpose. So it's not only does it get us up to the hose bed to do some to reload the hose bed, but it also works well as a VIS ladder. So that was kind of our push for that design, and I believe Hub's going to maybe use it on some other designs now. There's also the flip down little foot peg there if you're, for the extra access up to the upper deck. Yeah,
I think the only other main thing for us, we added. So we always had a rear discharge. We got a rear 4-inch suction coming back here as well. So we have it neck down for our 2.5-inch, but we also have the Storts line there as well. So with the SCBA cylinders back here, as well as the 4-inch added, it was quite a job for Hub to get our tank to fit properly and still give us that gallonage. So they were a little apprehensive, I would say, at the onset of the build, but once we had everything dialed in at the end, they're really proud of this. We are very, very proud of what the back end of the truck looks like, and this has already been used once and it works great. So having that access off the back of the tailboard is a really great thing for all of those narrow laneways. So this is something for us as well. This whole back side here is kind of that business end, and it's going to work out really well for us.
I noticed the other day actually when we deployed this, it really cleaned up the side of the truck too. Because usually we have hoses sticking off the sides of the truck, so the deployment hoses are going off, the attack lines are going off, but the supply line was out of the way. Unlike some other times where we usually have the supply line sitting there and tanks and all that kind of stuff. So this really kind of opens up that side. Yeah, no one's tripping over it.
Awesome. All right, so we're back on the driver's side of our new engine. Nothing major to show on this side other than up in this one compartment. We opted to run no onboard generator, but what we did go with is a massive inverter. So everything on this new truck is LED. All of our lights are LED, all of our scene lighting is LED. And we also went with an onboard cooler so we can keep our water, keep our Gatorades cool. Nice. Awesome for the summertime. It's not going to be ice cold, but you want to just so it's nice and refreshing on those hot calls. We keep our rehab bag in there as well. So that's kind of the only major thing on this side. I mean, we've got our appliance and nozzles and whatnot on the other side. Everybody's seen kind of what those things look like. But what we did go with as well is another one of our slide out steps. So for some of our vertically challenged members, so they can jump up there, grab that 2.5 or grab that 1.5 and flake that out. It's just one extra nice thing that makes things a little bit easier to deploy.
Makes it easier to load too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then when it's time to put everything away, everything else on this side is basically a mirror image of what we saw on the other side of the engine. The same 2.5 and the 1.5 there. Seam lighting, LED, and then again a bump up to the.
Spare coverings.
Yeah, we got some spare cubbies there in case you got to get out of some damp or dirty clothes, as well as a couple extinguishers. And then again, we come back around and we're right over to the driver's seat. So pretty neat. It's a bit of a spaceship compared to some of our older apparatus here, which really isn't all that old. But all in all, we're really proud of the build. We're really proud of the build. Perfect. Well, that is our new Spartan chassis Gladiator built by Hub Fire out of Abbotsford, BC. Hope you guys like it. As always, stay safe, stay GTFF.